Welcome back, everyone, to Arizona Daily Mix. It is a Tech Tuesday. Joining me now is Mitch Ginsburg. He's the founder and CEO of CommLoan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So we are going to talk about how digital marketplaces are changing consumer behavior and what we as consumers can expect. Let's go back, though, to the dot-com era and how that led to where we are now when it comes to consumer behavior.
Yeah, essentially, we're feeling the effects of the dot-com boom that happened probably, the mid-90s to the early 2000s. We're really feeling the effect now of how it's changing consumer behavior. There's a multitude of online platforms and marketplaces that are really changing our economy forever. I mean, all you really got to look at is retail, Amazon, how Amazon has redefined consumer behavior, not only by providing access to, well, unprecedented access to a wide range of products, but they've really redefined delivery systems. You know, you've almost got, with Amazon Prime, delivery times that were unthinkable just a few years ago.
Same day in some cases.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then, you know, you look at how travel's been transformed with all the online travel sites like Travelocity, Orbitz, etc. Even down to dating, you know, with Match.com and eHarmony. So essentially, the consumer through these platforms has access to huge amounts of information, and the platform really synthesizes and brings it into a form that's very easy for them to look at the key variables that they're looking to achieve.
Well, so the downside, some would say, is that you're seeing, you know, stores like Sports Authority and BB closing their doors, but the upside is that the consumer is really feeling more empowered, right?
Absolutely. So it's a shifting, and you know, like any, you know, and that's the beauty, I guess, of a free market. Properties will be repurposed. The labor force will change. There's a shifting, and absolutely correct. You know, as the consumer goes to more online, traditional retail there's a lot more pressure on malls and on, you know, a lot of the big box stores, as you said, closing. Let's
talk about commercial lending for a moment. How is CommLoan using that trend, and how would you define that trend to its advantage?
So we've created the first online marketplace for commercial real estate lending. Unlike residential lending, which is very homogeneous, commercial lending is extremely complex. There's a multitude of players. You have banks, community banks, credit unions, life insurance companies, Wall Street companies. So for any commercial borrower, it's unbelievably confusing. So what we've done is created the first marketplace where we give any commercial real estate borrower unprecedented access to the capital markets. And not only that, but we really redefine the service. So we give them a concierge service where we match that particular borrower with a loan consultant who will walk them through the process from beginning to end.
So what does that mean for the mortgage lender then? Does that person then just go away?
So the banks still do the lending. 67% of commercial real estate loans are originated through third parties. So the marketplace is dominated traditionally by a lot of small mortgage brokers. So from the lender's perspective, it's an absolute win as well, because they are getting quality loan packages pre-underwritten to their guidelines. So they have to spend a lot less time working on those loans up front, because they know that those loans absolutely fit for their lending criteria.
So for the average Joe who may be watching right now and thinking, well, how does this apply to me? In layman's terms, how would you explain that?
Well, I think any efficiencies that are brought to a market have a trickle-down effect. And so it's going to reduce the cost of acquisition and the holding cost for the buyer of that particular commercial real estate property. But you know, every property, their customers, there's employees, there's shareholders, and those efficiencies and those reduction in costs trickle through to everybody. So ultimately, any efficiency that comes to an economy or to a particular marketplace is going to ultimately benefit the consumer and everybody that is affected by it. I think the key is this is a wave. This is a wave that's moving through our economy, and the key is to be on the right side of the wave, is to ride the wave and not to get swept away with it. So just be aware and you know, develop new skills, and
you have
adjust.
To stay with the changes.
Absolutely.
Well, and the nice thing, as we mentioned earlier, is that the consumer behavior is that we are becoming more empowered and to take control of, you know, the decisions that we're making, obviously.
Correct. And you know, the really successful technology platforms are consumer-centric. where the borrower or the consumer is given the power and the control.
So interesting. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And we will be back with more Arizona Daily Mix right after this, so don't go away.